thanks for clicking on the video. Over the last 5 weeks, I've been building a house using natural materials. I started with straw bales, and then I've used a combination of sand, straw, and a little bit of clay. When those bits are mixed together, you end up with cob. Cob has been applied to the straw baled walls. Over the last few days, I've been thatching. And this is reed. This reed goes on the roof. As you can see, the roof isn't quite complete, but I brought with me my dog, a knife, axe, and a saw, and I've also got a load of food. My plan is to spend the next 24 hours right here, so please stay tuned until the end of the video to find out what I really get up to. So before we get any further into the video, let me just make it clear. I'm building a house using natural materials, but I'm also using materials I can find either for free or for cheap online. For example, Facebook Marketplace. And what have I found so far? Well, I found windows. I've even found a wood stove. I found a sink, which I'll be putting in later on. I've also found a load of pallet wood. The pallet wood which I've used for the pallet wood floor. So it's taken quite a long time to get to this stage, and I'm really happy where I am right now. Basically, building this roof, I've had to source hazel wood, fresh green hazel, which I've shaved the bark off. And then once I've shaved the bark off, I've then secured it to the roof. The thing is, it has to be done because if it's not done, the thatch can't be attached to anything. The thatch attaches to the battens, and to show you exactly what I just did up there, have a watch of this. So in order to thatch, what you obviously need is some reed. I'm going to place that right there, but before I use it, I'm going to climb up the ladder, and you can see how everything has been pinned together. What I mean is that using this string, whoops, and I've just dropped it. That's not a good start. Let's get this string. This is actually a tarred rope. They call it tarred cord, and it is actually traditionally used for thatching roofs. So because I've run out of this string down here, I'm just going to secure this by tying another bit of string to it, like that, and that can continue onwards. Now let's get back to the bundle. So what I do is I will open up a bundle and I'll get quite a big handful. Oh, quite a big handful like that. And then I'll manage to somehow climb up this ladder and then place the bundle right there. Now, if I let go of my hands, everything's gonna just fall to the ground. So straight away, I take this middle one, this middle rope, and I tie that around the batten. So these are the hazel battens that I've shaved the bark off, and that's what's securing this bundle to the batten. And then using the string, just pass that through like that and tie it off. But the key is to make sure that this is nice and tight. So that's why I'm patting it down, because I want to kind of flatten it rather than have a big round lump of it. So as I pat it down, I'm pulling on this string, holding it there to keep tension, passing this underneath. And because it's tarred cord or tarred string, it's actually really good at just holding right there. So now that middle one's done, I'm going to move down to the bottom one. Same again, pass that under, tap it in, flatten it down, bring that string or that cord over, tuck it in there. And the reason why, this is a good tip that John gave me, the reason why we don't secure it to there is because we want to continue this roof thatch rather than have these bundles where everything is like a big M kind of shaped, if that makes sense. So that goes like that, secure, secure, nothing's falling out the bottom, and then we just grab this top final one, same sort of thing, pass that underneath, bring that over the top, press it down, squash it up, make sure everything lines up. That's what we're aiming for. Flatten that down, that's nice and tight. Pinch that with my left hand. While the left hand's pinching that tight, I can pull this through, bring that down to about there, grab that, throw that over. Now we're ready for another bundle. Now, if you want to see that again in real time, let's do it. So this is all the bales we have here. I've been quite selective. I want ones that are long, like that and in good condition. So I'm going to take this, walk through my really untidy camp. Got my drone there, I'm going to do some drone shots in a minute. Nice chair there, some of you might remember that chair from a few years ago. And that thing, well, we'll talk about this in a minute. So the bale I'm going to place over here next to the bale that I just opened. I'll grab my knife, cut that, and grab a nice handful like this. And then work my way up the ladder. I'm going to place it down right there, make sure it butts up to the bottom bit. Grab this middle one. Again, that goes underneath the batten. Pull it a bit tight. Squash it down. Get it a bit flat, make sure it's all straight. Left hand, keep tension. You don't want that string to slip. Now the right hand, pull it through. Bring that over to about there. And then throw that side. Same again on the bottom, bring this one round. Tuck that in. Tuck, flatten, tuck and flatten. And then you just tie that one off. Again, tension with my left hand, stopping the string from sliding. Managed to make a small knot in the string, I don't know how, but that is fine. We'll work that one out in a minute. Bring that to about there, lock that one off, throw the string. And the final one on the top, again, press it down, tuck it up. You can see it's all nice and secure. It's amazing that you can thatch a roof just using rope. Flatten, tuck it in, left hand, pinch it, right hand goes under there, back through. I'm keeping tension with my left hand, and that's where we want it, locked off. There we are, that's how to do a thatched roof using rope or cord, and it took what, maybe 40 seconds to get that secured to the roof. And if we go, as we go inside, you can see where the rope has been passed over, tucked under, and then secured. You can see it right there, goes all the way along. So now it's time to talk about this. This is actually called a legget, believe it or not. And the way they're used is you simply tap the reed and it tucks it all in, makes it nice and tidy. And what you can do is you can also shape around the windows. So you can see it kind of comes down here a bit. Well, if we want to send it up and just flatten it, then all we have to do is give it a few taps. So what I'm looking for is a bit of a flat edge underneath, rather than it all being a steep, sharp angle. Now you can see there it's really tidied it up already. So it might just take about a minute, maybe 2 minutes to put down each bale, but when there's hundreds to do, it really takes a lot of time. And just to recap, this project is all about trying to build something for cheap or for free or using natural materials. Here's another example. The doors were free. My good friend Graham over here, he found a few doors, he brought them round, and he even helped me fit them. Absolute legend. Now let's take a look inside. So as you can see, it is a bit of an ongoing project. The outside of the walls, the outside of the straw bales, they have cob. Again, cob is a mixture of clay, sand, a bit of water and some straw. It's almost like nature's concrete. So once I finish the roof, I'll be then applying cob to the walls. Now tonight I have brought the hammock. It's not a hammock I normally use. It's a bit of a hammock I once got in the south of France about 12 years ago, made from an old fishing net. So yeah, I think that's going to be really comfortable tonight. Another thing we have are the windows that I mentioned earlier. There's one window right here, and you can see there's a bit of chicken wire, or there's a bit of wire mesh. That, I think I'll be applying it to the inside of this as well. I applied it to the outside of the walls, but I'm not convinced it really does that much, because occasionally you'll have a gap between where you apply the cob to the mesh and the actual straw-baled wall. And then yeah, like I mentioned, the windows were free. I've got a piece of oak which is in there. That will all be secured in what says cob. And then I've put 3 of these in. The reason being is because if I put one there, there and there, and that just means that when I have friends here and we camp out, it means that, well, they can all sleep in their hammocks. In the meantime, where will I be sleeping? I'll be upstairs. And what I mean by that is that up here, there'll be a mezzanine with a staircase going up. I think there's enough room for about 3, maybe 4 people. And again, it's about finding free materials. I haven't yet found the free floor or cheap wood to use for the floor. In the meantime, I'm just carrying on with the roof. And you've probably noticed the wood stove. Well, I did have a wood stove that I bought for £30 online. It was secondhand, it was from Facebook Marketplace. And I just think it was way too big to be put in here. Therefore, I have this wood stove. A lot of you might remember the log cabin I had in a woodland. Well, this has cooked everything from pizza to chicken. And it's great because not only can I cook inside it, because there's an oven there, that's where you put the wood, I can also cook on top. You know what? I think this, compared to the other wood stove, this one is a lot more practical. And a quick talk through about this. Well, I got these online as well. I got 7 sections for about £20. I've already broken 2, by the way. I have this flue, this flexi flue, that goes up through there. And that's all been sealed with fire cement. Now, I'm going to be lining the inside between this flue and the flexi flue with rock wool insulation. And then I'm going to line it between the pipe and the flexi flue, again with rock wool insulation. Having a wood stove and a thatched roof is a crazy idea, but I'm crazy enough to do it. So that is where we're at so far. Now let's get back to the cooking.
Really, we're just here because you're a bit scared of the dark.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So we thought we'd just...
yeah, thanks for keeping me company with that.
That's okay, that's fine, yeah.
Good morning. Well, if you're wondering how I slept, I actually slept really well considering there's a hole in the roof. And the reason why there's a hole in the roof is because I haven't finished thatching the roof yet. I've done one layer, which is this base layer, and that goes all the way around. What I now need to do is work my way up and continue it. There's about 8 or 9 layers to do. So last night, before I went to bed, well, just before it got dark, I managed to finish this base layer, which means now I have to work on this. And you can see that layer there has been attached to it or secured to the thatch with a bit of cord right about there. And that's what I now need to do, going all the way around. It's quite a long process, but it'll definitely be worth it. And one other thing I've done today is I've added another layer of cob mix. So I did this really early this morning, and over the last 4 hours, it's already dried out. In fact, I had this going last night, I just didn't use it. Therefore, it was still warm when I woke up, and I thought I'd make up a quick cob mix and apply it to it. And this isn't just a normal ordinary pizza oven. This is a pizza oven with a built-in rocket stove. What I mean is that right there's a hole. And I made that hole in a mound of soil. And once I had tunneled into it, I then tunneled vertically all the way down. And that allows for this tunnel to meet that tunnel. Which means when you get a fire going in there, the draw, the flue section which is inside, or the hollowed out soil, that causes it to really draw hot and fast, and you get this rocket flame. Now that rocket flame ends up coming out of the back corner of this clay oven. The flame comes out and it licks the top of the clay oven, throwing heat down not only on these stones, but also it throws heat into this thick insulated cob mix. And all that, once it's warm, this becomes a really good pizza oven. This is something I use almost every single day. It's a great addition to the outdoor kitchen. And once again, this is made up from cob mix. Cob is made from 1 bucket of clay, 2.5 buckets of sand, a little bit of water, and then a bit of straw. The straw binds it all together, the sand stops the clay from cracking, and it all turns out into a nice solid nature's concrete. I've got a carrot. Hello mate, do you want a carrot? Ow, ow. Hey, you're welcome. I think this mesh is to keep flies out of his eyes. Well, I've got nothing left, all gone. Whoa, 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 whoa. You almost took my finger off. Well, today is Amber's birthday. She's 7 years old and she's got some of her favourite things here. She's got a bit of beef mince. She's got some of these biscuits. She loves these. And then she's got a little chewy bone with peanut butter. Oh yeah. I've got a question. If you have a dog, let me know in the comments. Let me know how old your dog is. Hey, happy birthday. She just ate that huge chunk and she barely even chewed it. Nice, cheap and healthy breakfast. I've actually been snacking on fruit all day, as well as a few of these. So what I've got here is a bit of bramble cordage. Well, it's not really the cordage yet. I'm aiming to make the cordage from this. This is the bark that goes up around the outside of the woody stemmed bramble root or the bramble vine. And I'm just giving it a little tidy up. What I plan to do now is dip this in water and then give it a twist. I'll then be twisting it in order to make cordage. Let me give you a quick example. If I lick my fingers and I grab this and I start to twist this cordage together. So this cordage, as you twist it together, it gets to a point where it can't twist anymore and it will want to twist back on itself. Now, if I keep twisting, also I'm going to use my teeth here. So I twist and then I turn it, I twist it, turn it, twist it, turn it. What we end up with is the beginning of a braid. It's a very twisted piece of fibre, which I plan on putting around a wooden spatula that I've just carved last night. So this is where I've managed to get to. I've twisted this top bit and I've just added a little bit of water to my hand and I've just dampened this because it's been out in the sun all day and it's quite dry. So what I want to do is grab this section here, straighten it out and then twist it together. Now, by using my teeth again, I can twist and then grip that, twist it. So my right hand and my left hand, they're turning it the same direction. We're going like that. And what can sometimes help as well is if you get the fibres and lay them onto your lap, onto your leg, I mean, and then just twist them together, and that'll really help you when it comes to doing this. So you give it a couple of twists, you grab that, and you twist it. You give it a couple of twists, grab that, and twist it. What happens is every time you grab this and let go and twist it, it locks everything in. So it also becomes quite nice and tidy. These bits you can also trim off just with a small flame or your knife, but eventually you'll end up with a nice strong bit of cordage. And what I'm planning on doing is to make a small loop of cordage to fit through this so that I can hang it up. I think I need about another maybe inch and a half. And there we have it. I can now hang up my little wooden spatula. But it's those little things like this that I'm going to keep for a long time and probably just hang up on the wall to remind me of my first overnighter. That is a good burger. This is actually my second one, by the way. So good. Mmm. And thanks for joining me over the last 24 hours. It's been great staying down here for the first time. Yes, the roof, it is a bit leaky at the moment. Good job it didn't rain last night, but I will be finishing the thatching over the next week or two. Until then, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the like button if you enjoyed it and you want to see more campouts. Comment below, what do you want to see me do or build down here? What would you do if you were me down here? See you next week, goodbye.